All right, hey guys, my name is Miss Beckham. I will be performing the lab today on physical and chemical properties on behalf of just the whole chemistry team here. But if you are in fourth period chemistry with me, then I am your teacher anyways. But we're just going to perform a lab where we're going to look at different setups and decide whether what we observed warranted a chemical or a physical change. You're going to write down your observations and decide whether what happened was chemical or physical based on your observations. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so for part A of your lab procedure, we were actually out of one of the chemicals. And so what you're watching here is a video of somebody else doing it, and I'm just talking over it. So she's got her cornstarch, you could see that powder, and she's mixing it into the water right now. Okay. Kind of looks cloudy. Now she's got the iodine, and she's adding the iodine drops to the solution. So watch what's happening. Just watch the whole clip, observe, write it down. All right, so for part B, we are using a mortar and pestle, and we have this piece of chalk in here, and we are actually just gonna grind it up, and you're gonna record your observations about what's happened to the chalk. So I'm sure that you can imagine what will be happening. So as I'm grinding up this piece of chalk, you should be recording your observations and deciding whether or not this is a chemical or a physical change that's happening. All right, you decide. All right, so we were out of baking soda at the school, so I'm at my house right now, and I've got my own baking soda, and because I'm nerdy, I actually have a beaker, and I also have some vinegar. We're gonna do part C where we're combining baking soda and vinegar, where you're gonna observe your reactions to see what actually happens. All right. All right, so for this next section, we are gonna pour in about 100 milliliters of water. I'm cutting this recipe in half. So 100 milliliters of water. And we're gonna add half of an Alka-Seltzer tablet to the beaker and observe what happens. Okay, so Alka-Seltzer. All right, for procedure E, we're gonna add in about 100 milliliters of water into this beaker again. But this time, we're just gonna add about 5 grams of sugar and stir. Here's the sugar. We're gonna stir, and you are gonna record your observations. All right, so for part F, we have iron chloride right here, kind of orange in color, and we have potassium thiocyanate. We're gonna add 10 drops of each to this well right here, and then we're gonna observe what happens. Right now for the potassium thiocyanate. All right, so for procedure G, we have a ring stand set up right here with a Bunsen burner underneath it. we are going to, so this is our ring stand. We're gonna place some aluminum foil right here. And then on top of the aluminum foil, we are going to break a toothpick. So here's your toothpick. We're gonna break it. You're gonna record the observation. Was that a chemical or a physical change? And then next, we're actually gonna heat this with the Bunsen burner and record our observations for that too. You can hear the gas coming out. We've got our flame, and we've got our toothpick right above it. All right, just a comparison in case my color isn't showing up very well. This is what the toothpick started out as. This is where we are now. All right, I'm gonna call that good. We could keep going with this, get it all the way ground to ashes if we wanted, but I think you guys can get enough information to record your observations. So I'm gonna turn off the gas line and end there. All right, so for procedure H, we have a clean beaker, and I added about 1/2 gram of starch, and we are gonna add in 100 milliliters of water and stir, and then observe. All right, so we've got starch and water. You're gonna record your initial observations, and then I will cut back in about 10 minutes and record our observations once more. All right, so we are still on procedure H, but the next step told us to wait 10 minutes, and I waited a little bit longer than that just to give some extra time. And you're supposed to observe what you see with this cornstarch now. And it's kind of hard for my phone to capture it here. I don't know if you can kind of see, but you can see, at least in person, a little bit. It's milky, cloudy still, but there is a layer of the starch forming on the bottom. Even though it's still kind of cloudy, it's kind of all falling down to the bottom, and you can kind of see a little like line of it. And whenever something is a solid in a solution, it's called a precipitate. So you can see some precipitate down at the bottom there. All right, so now I've got about 1 gram of salt that I am pouring into here, and we're gonna add just about 10 mils of water to it as well. All right, we're gonna add in the water and stir. I guess you can imagine when you mix salt and water, what will happen. Salt will most likely dissolve in here, right? You can't really see it anymore. Hope I'm not giving anything grand away for you guys, but I've mixed the salt and the water here. This is what we've got. Basically, it looks like water now, right? And next, we are going to heat it up until almost all of the water has evaporated, and then record what we see. So we've got a hot plate right here. I'm gonna turn it on medium heat right here. We're gonna let that water boil out until there's just a little bit left and record what we see. Now, as of right now, this is what the saltwater solution looks like. All right, so we have boiled a little bit too much here, but we boiled all of the water out. You can record your observations now about what you see. All right, so for procedure J, we're gonna light a match, ignite the wick of a candle, and then blow out the candle. And I wonder if you guys are gonna be able to predict what will happen when we light this candle. Happy birthday to you. Anybody's birthday today? This is for you, from the chemistry department, to you. Okay, we're gonna blow out the candle, record your observations for what happened here. All right, so now that we finished our lab, you are gonna pull up the next attachment on this assignment, which has a file where you fill out your observations, where you put whether you decided it was chemical or physical, and then there's a couple questions at the end comparing physical and chemical changes. You're gonna answer that and then submit it to us for grading. Have a great day.